Today, I am going to be discussing my journey through the intersection of discipline and surrender. And I know these two circles sound so far apart, discipline, creating, building, showing up every single day, doing the things that you have to do versus surrender, allowing, letting things happen to you. How do those two come together, and what does that even mean? So, my journey of surrendering, I have sometimes given my power away. I've given my ability to create, to build this kind of masculine energy. I've given it away and just said, let whatever comes to me come to me. And that's fine. That's an okay way to live. But what I've noticed is that without any discipline whatsoever, what comes to me is often going to the beach, going for a walk, going for a run, reading a book. It's not the things that move you towards the goals or move me towards my goals at this very moment. So I came across a very interesting post that broke it down in a way that I had never heard it before. And I just wanted to share that with everybody, that this idea of the intersection of discipline, which is just showing up, and then surrender. When you show up, you surrender to the intelligence that exists inside of you, this guiding voice, your intuition, just following these cues. And sometimes they don't feel like they make logical sense. Oftentimes they don't feel like they make logical sense. You sit down, and again, the discipline isn't, I'm going to sit down and do this, this, and this. It's, I'm going to sit down and spend the next 2 hours doing the things that are going to move me towards my goal. And again, you got to get out of this idea of you have to think your way towards your goal. You have to feel your way towards your goal. So the discipline is showing up every single day for 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, whatever that amount of time is. And then the surrender is during that space, that allotted time, the 2, 3, 4, 6 hours, you're free flowing. You're allowing yourself to be in this theta brainwave state where you just kind of allow the tasks to unfold as they are unfolding. And again, this has felt for me to be so counterintuitive. I'll sit down and say, I want to work on putting together a marketing program for some new clients, a new program that I'm offering. And before you know it, I'm, applying for a job that I came across, some idea that I opened up. I'm researching some new ideas on what is happening in quantum physics. Again, all these pieces, and when I look backwards, I understand that all these pieces come together to really help me become who I need to become. Again, I want to be I want to be a coach. I want to be a leader. I want to be a teacher. Like I have to build that information, build that wisdom, build that knowledge. Um, and that is the surrendering part. So it's like, okay, I need to find clients. Yes. But I also need to be at the level, the energetic level that I need to be at to be a good coach, a good version of myself to those people. And it's been very interesting over the last couple of weeks to notice how I have let go from this need to really hold on tight to how everything's going to come into play, how everything's going to come into the world, into my world, how things are materializing in my world. And in that space of letting go of, it has to be this way, it has to be that path, it has to look like this for it to be successful, I have been making so many deeper connections with people around me, people that are a part of the journey, people that are helping guide me, that are showing me the pathways that they have walked and giving me guidance on ways that I can possibly offer my services and how to promote it and all of these different things. And that is coming from this energy of just allowing it to be, this energy of being myself and allowing the true essence of my nature, my higher self, my soul, my authenticity to shine through. And what that looks like for me is asking people these deep, deep questions about who they are. Um, I spend half my time when I'm out in public just listening to people. They're sharing their journey. They're sharing what has happened to them, what is present on their mind at this point. And this is my superpower. And I have to lean into that. I have to lean into this ability to evoke this deep trust in people to share their path, their wisdom, their knowledge with me, and then reflect it back to them so that they're capable of making decisions based off of that, sharing that wisdom, that knowledge that they feel so called to offer to me. And again, this is what I'm starting to realize. Again, the more that I surrender to who I truly am, while also building the structure, the container, um, the structure around how I'm going to offer this and what does that look like and how much money am I charging and how many people am I offering this to and opening it up to. That is what is building the structure, the discipline, the masculine aspect of the business. And again, there's a great Venn diagram where it's discipline on one side, surrender on the other, and in that middle, in the Vesica Pisces, the central overlapping piece of that those two circles is flow. It's the flow state. It's being able to um, get into an altered state of consciousness to basically unlock the innate wisdom inside of you to move you towards the goals that you are calling in. That is that flow state. That is that middle piece where you take discipline and you take surrender and you move them gently together. And it's not all surrender. It's not all discipline. Both of those are great. They work for certain specific tasks. You need discipline if you're going to be running a, multinational corporation. You really can't just flow your way through a 25,000 person organization. There has to be a ton of structure involved in that. When you can get into the idea is, should a structure that large exist? Is it useful for humans? That's a whole nother story. But that's one particular circumstance where a ton of discipline is required. But what is lacking in those organizations is that flow, is that surrender. And this is where it's starting to come in, where there's more feminine energy coming into these very highly structured organizations that is allowing them to enter this flow state. So you do still have the benefit of that very strong structure that holds things together, that gets things done, that moves things from point A to point B to point C. But you have this ability to flow. And this is a part of my offering. If you're in an organization and it feels very structured and there's not a lot of time for mindfulness, for meditation, for deep reflection, for even just spending 20 or 30 minutes outside in the sun, just getting a little bit of break and rest. If you feel like it's just driven all day, every day, structure, discipline, then I have a wonderful offering where I come into the organization, we do a 1-hour meditation once a week. And in that meditation, you allow for this surrender. You start to invite the wisdom, the intelligence that's inside of you, your intuition, to start coming into and solving some of the problems that you have. And what we look to do is to build this into your daily routine. So when you get into work, you have a 10-minute meditation, and that kicks off your day. Then at lunch, you get outside, you go walk around, you try to experience some kind of change in your environment, because that gives your mind, that gives your thinking mind a little break. And that doesn't mean you go outside and scroll on your phone. You go outside and notice the beauty that is around you. And if you can't find beauty around you, then get in the car and drive 5 minutes away. Because I guarantee you, no matter where you are in the world, there is something beautiful within a 5 minute drive of any location in the world at this point. But yeah, that's an offering that I have for organizations. So if you have an organization, if you're curious about what that might look like, what that might bring into your organization, if it's something that is, you want to just get me in touch with somebody in the organization about this offering, I would love to chat. I've got free discovery call. We sit down, we talk, we see what offer, what program might work for your organization, and we just go from there, see what happens. I start with the 1 hour as just kind of a framework, but I'm very flexible and I'm able to shift and change and make any size organization, any length of time that is possible. I am able to shift that around and create this. Again, can be in person, can be digital, virtual. So very flexible. But I just wanted to come on and share kind of this piece, this I would say a bit of a breakthrough that I've had this week about the role of surrender. Instead of it me just fully surrendering and saying, universe, take things over and see what happens, it's using the discipline of showing up every single day for however long that is, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15 hours, and then surrendering to what is happening, the intelligence of your nervous system, to make decisions on what you're working on, what you're creating, how to promote it, what to build, all these different things, how to do your job in the best way possible. And again, if you're in a larger organization, you have to do it through the structures that are set up. But as you surrender more, as you invite the intelligence of the universe into this organization, how they do things, then you can start to incorporate that more into the structure of the organization. And this is where this coaching, consulting can be very useful, because you're bringing in somebody who is seeing it for what it is, somebody who is seeing it for how can we let go of a little bit of that, this old world structure that has been built into most businesses, and how can we allow for the flow of information, the flow of intelligence, the flow of intuition to be a part of the everyday aspect of business. So, as always, really appreciate everybody listening, hearing, watching, reading, whatever you're doing. Again, check out my website, joegarner.net. Ton of fun, free stuff on there. Join the Flow Forum, just a bunch of free utilities for you to deepen your practice, deepen your intuition, deepen your ability. And I've got a couple openings for one-on-one coaching. So if you're ready to go deep, if you've done some mindfulness, some meditation, or you're ready to just dive into really understand what mindfulness and meditation are, I've got a couple openings, an awesome package. Would love to share with you. Just even have a quick call, a quick discovery call, just to see if maybe it's an option, maybe it's a good fit. But yeah, I hope everybody has a great rest of their week. I love y'all and have a wonderful day.